Hello, everybody. This is Adam, the Dabbling Warlock, and today we're doing day 10 of the Learn to Draw in 30 Days challenge by Marc Brunet. And yes, we are almost a third of the way done. We just gotta get through today, and then we are a third of the way there. Hope you've been sticking around. Anyway, let's get into it. So today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be drawing a sphere, a cylinder, and a box, and then we're going to draw them, only half of them. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with the sphere. So what we want to do is we just want to draw a sphere like this. So let's just go ahead and like that, and we'll go ahead and get this cleaned up a little bit. All right, so the way we're going to be doing this is we're going to be trying to draw a line that kind of cuts it in half. So we're going to just draw an ellipse like this. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this like through a pole like that. And this will help us identify where the halfway point on the sphere is, and we'll just go ahead and erase that. So something like that. Okay, so what we're then going to do is we're going to try and draw a sphere the exact same size. So, just darkening up the line a little bit. All right, and then we're going to try and match this. So, we're going to be imagining a line right through here, and that's going to be where the ellipse touches. So, we're going to draw like that. And it swings out around this way, although I don't think I quite did it right, so we're just gonna do that and try it again. So yes, yeah, sorry folks, I am having a little bit of trouble today. Okay, so let's move that a little bit. And when something's not working for us, sometimes it's okay to change up and try doing things a different way. All right, there we go. All right, so we're going to erase this part of the sphere. Excuse me. I just had supper before coming on, so probably ate a little bit too fast. All right. And then we're just going to shade this in real quick. Just very gently. And then we're just going to do a little bit better job of defining this line right here. There we go. There we go. So that is our sphere. So I'm just going to move things up a little bit. So next up is going to be our cylinder. And there's two ways that we can cut the cylinder. We're going to be doing it long ways. So around the length, not through the along the length, not through the length, if that makes sense. If you want to think of it, we're doing it hot dog style, not hamburger style. And yeah, hopefully it'll make sense once I get started. So let's just get started. So first off, we're just going to draw an ellipse for the top up here. Then we're going to draw the sides going down like that. All right, and then we're going to call it. Then we're just going to draw only part of the ellipse part that we could see for the bottom. And then we're going to go ahead and draw the line of where we're going to be cutting this. All right, so we have that. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to try and draw the ellipse at the top again. Hold on. I might need to make that a little bit bigger. Yeah, like that. There, I think... no. I think I had it right the first time. Okay, so... So there we go. There's the ellipse for the top. And we're just going to try match the length of the sides. And don't worry if you don't get it like 100% exact. I mean, what I could do is I could just copy the shape and do that, but that's kind of that does defeat the purpose of what we're going for here. All right, and then we're just going to draw the bottom part of the ellipse. All right, so we're going to go ahead and erase that right there, and we're going to go ahead and draw through. So what drawing through means is we're going to be drawing something that you normally wouldn't see, but for the sake of constructing this, we're going to need the rest of this ellipse. And that'll help us in a minute. So we had our line coming this way, like that, and then it came straight down through here. And then this is where drawing through is going to help us. So we can also draw this line down here. And then where that connects, we now have 2 points to connect with this line right here. So let me just go ahead and make that line a little bit more distinct. And then we can go ahead and erase all the bits of the cylinder that we no longer need, including this bit that we drew through right here. So we got that, and we got that line, and we're just going to very quickly clean this up. All right, and then here's a neat trick for finding like the center of like a rectangle or something like that. Not if it's in perspective like this. So what you can do is you can draw a line connecting the corners like that, and like that, and then didn't quite get it exact, but the center is somewhere here, which is close enough. And then we can just do like we did before and shade in. Let me just... Yep. Like that. Alright, and just... let me get a little bit better of an example. So let's say you have a shape in perspective like this. And we know that this side and this side are parallel. So if we were looking at this straight on, it would look more like this. And we want to find the center of this. So what we can do is we can take a ruler, and then we're just going to line up these two corners right here, and we're going to draw a line And then we're going to line up these two corners right here. And we're going to do a line. And then what we can do is we can now, let's see, yeah, right there. We can now divide this up. And it doesn't just work for things in perspective. So like we say we have this shape right here. We can just draw a line from one corner to the opposite corner. And then we have the center right here. So that's all. So this is actually a really handy trick, especially if you're drawing things in perspective. And what you may notice is because this is a center line, these three lines, so this one, and this one, are equally spaced because this is the halfway point, or this is the line that's dividing the shape in half this way. So what that means is that if we want to draw, let's say we continue this out, all the way to where there is the vanishing point. And I think this is where we discovered that I kind of goofed. So with this line, so well, we can get rid of that. And let's bring our ruler back. Yep. All right, so we want to go here. We got our, let's see. Yeah, that's actually fairly close. It's not perfect, but that's okay. So what we want to do is we just want to line it up. Alright. Okay, so we get that straighten up, and actually we probably do want that back. So what we can do, if we want to add another line that's like equally spaced. So like this, so this line right here is the same distance from this line as it is from this line, but we want to add another line that's the same distance from this line as these two lines are. So what we can do is we can take a line from this corner and then draw it through the midpoint of this line into that line. And that will give us a line that if we were looking at this straight on would be the same space. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to that trick. Let me see. Kind of run out of space here, but I think we got enough room. So last one is we're going to be drawing a box. Like this. So there's the top of our box. And then, let's see. I'll just clean this up a little bit. Okay, so there's our box, and then we're just going to draw a line right here and right here. Okay, so this is the box that we have, and this is the box that we're going to try and cut in half. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by trying to match this angle, and then we're trying to match this shape right here. So got that, and then we just want these to be the same height. So This isn't going to be exactly the same, but it should be close enough. All right, and then got the center, and then we'll just shade this in to note that's where we cut it. So there we go. A sphere, a cylinder, and a box that have all been cut in half. Now, if you really wanted to get crazy with this, one of the things you could do is you could give you can use construction lines to get everything lined up and to make sure that everything is the same size. But the point of this isn't really to necessarily get it perfect, it's to get you thinking about how you construct shapes and how these all go together. And actually, I'm not really happy with how that turned out, so. There we go. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. And what this is going to be useful for is in the coming days, there are going to be some exercises where we're going to be drawing simple shapes and then we're going to be carving them away. And this is getting more into constructing forms and turning simple shapes into more complex forms and helping you think about things in terms of simple forms, simplifying forms that you can put on the page and then turn into the more complex forms that exist in reality. And a perfect example of this is actually what I said, like with the hot dog buns and hamburger buns. So if you want to think about it, all a hot dog bun really is a cylinder with some bits carved off of it. So like say we got a cylinder like this. Assuming I can actually remember how to draw the cylinder when I'm yapping. Alright, so we got a cylinder like this, and then let's see, so it's gonna have a cut like this. Actually, probably should do it more like that, just to make it a little easier. So that's where the cut's gonna go. And then what we can do is we can change colors. Let's go with the red. And then we're gonna go on top of this. And we're going to go ahead and lower the opacity of this real quick. So, okay, so we got one in the hot dog bun, like that, and then the other end, and then it's going to come up like that, and it's going to dome over. And then we got the cut like that. And then we'll just give it some shading up top. Where I got nice and toasty. And voila, there's our hot dog bun. So this is what these exercises are leading up to, is how do you construct things taking three-dimensional forms and putting them on in 2 dimensions on paper. So anyway, that's it for me. Hope you'll join me for day 11 tomorrow. Maybe that one's probably going to be happening earlier than normal. Tomorrow is Veterans Day here in the US, and I have the day off, so I'm planning on taking advantage of that. Anyway, hope you've had it fun. This is the Dabbling Warlock, signing off.